what an introduction. I think I'm done. Everybody have a good day. I'm out. So I want to go back to Victor's song. When we originally thought that we were all going to be in person with some of you joining us online, the speaker gets to choose two songs. And there's usually one right before and then right after. And that particular song, written by Jason Mraz, I kind of think of it's being what the universe, what spirit is singing to you. We want nothing but good for you. We want nothing that is amazing for you. And that's why we're all here. It's the journey to get there that is often the conversation, right? So January of 2023, I submitted my prayer claim, and Jane's already talked about affirmative prayer is a really cool practice. And, we're claiming that. And I'm going to tell you exactly what the prayer was. Hey, universe, divine spirit, whoever it is that you celebrate, I want to claim 4 to 6 new clients for my company. And so it is. Now, there were a bunch of other words in there, but that's the net of the whole thing. And, I'm going to have to confess, universe's response was, well, crickets. So you got to get up, keep on going. And I have often been, forever and more, it seems, a Mike Dooley fan, and I get his notes from the universe. And for all of you Infinite Possibility trainers that are online, could y'all drop in who Mike Dooley is, just so I'm not redundant while I'm talking about it? And so I happened to listen to something Mike was talking about, and he calls it the GPS. So when we're talking about GPS, I mean, it's a miraculous thing that GPS even exists, right? I mean, we can get wherever, do whatever, and it is our guide. And so there are things that happen. Let's say I'm going to drive across states in better weather to see Allie Crane, who is online with us and is part of our community. I'm going to punch her address into my car's GPS. And then there are baby steps I'm going to need to take. We got to plan a date of when I'm showing up. I should probably pack some clothes. Gas in the car would be super as a great idea before I depart. And then I'm ready. And I get in the car, and at no time do I need to tell my GPS system, guess what? I am sitting in my driveway. The whole idea is to move forward. And a lot of us often gather up what was the past, what has been, etc. And we ruminate on that. Maybe we even claim we're going to heal from it. It's the steps forward that help us through that GPS process. And, the other thing that's really cool about what Mike's saying with this GPS idea, by the way, have you ever gone wrong on your path using GPS? Does it ever slam on the brakes for you and shout, "You bloody idiot, what is wrong with you?" No, it just gently says, take a U-turn at the next exit. Many of us, when we're working on our affirmative prayers and all, we're busy yelling and screaming at ourselves. Or sometimes we have friends that are good at helping us scream at us too. But none of that is relevant. It's just a gentle way to course correct and move on. So having heard this, I decided to do a course correction, and I went back and submitted a second affirmative prayer. And it said, I'm looking it up, I claim an openness to all forms of abundance that allow me to make a difference, love what I do, and so it is. And I have to tell you, that prayer changed everything. When I talk about it changing everything, we have some research that I want to share with you. So quite accidentally, I decided to go on a Facebook science project in 2023. And although I think many of you that are familiar with Facebook know the algorithms are rather negative in nature and trying to figure out how to sell you something for something you've posted, etc. But Facebook is also a really powerful tool to gather together small groups and continue conversations, do instant message in the back, etc. And I decided that all of 2023, I was going to test the theory that energy attracts and that we can be positive and multiply our energy, our willingness, what we can possibly do to see the infinite possibilities in our lives and the lives of others. So here's some interesting statistics. Never once did I post, well, okay, there's a lot of animal posts and snow posts and stuff like that, but the rest is all very affirmative things. And I began the year with maybe 400 people that were connected with me. I ended the year with close to 3,000 people connected to me and 10,000 reshares of positive stuff that I posted. If ever we wanted to know that we can overcome an algorithm of the next shoe is going to drop and it's going to be negative, etc., we can by pulling together our positive vibrations, our energy, our intentions, and our thoughts. And so it just kind of turned out that the response to my prayer was a calling to become a member of the Infinite Possibility training community. And the background I have here is actually what you get to use if you become a crew member for a future event. So I'm all in. By the way, it was all on Zoom, and there's got to be at least 35 hours of it. And I'm thinking, oh boy, I have to tell you, best energy hit I have had in decades. It's an amazing experience. In the end, we're maybe day 2, Mike Dooley's on, and he is sharing his story. And he literally says, you know, I got my start speaking in Unity communities in Florida. And he goes on and tells bits and pieces of that story. And he ends it with a funny remark from somebody like me who understands Unity. And he says, you know, those IPpies, which is the term for Infinite Possibility Certified Trainers, are a lot like those people at Unity. Now, here's my giggling, because obviously I know a lot about Unity principles. Turns out Unity's been around a lot longer than Mike Dooley has. And in fact, they began the definition of what Unity was going to become in the 1800s. And Charles and Myrtle built out this incredible practice that really does go hand in hand with the term that we infinite possibility trainers use all the time, is there are infinite possibilities to connect with spirit, with the universe, however, to get to the outcome that you most wanted. Well, that got me thinking. What are some of our Unity practices that are absolutely why Mike felt so at home in the Unity churches of Florida? And I think I've heard many other places in the world. How about our affirmative prayer? Let's just start right there, where we're claiming that which we want. The other obvious one is that if you haven't learned about her, Charles and Myrtle had a great granddaughter named, I'm going to get it right this time, Connie Fillmore. And Connie went in the 1990s and rewrote a number of our practices that came out as the 5 principles for spiritual living. Let me review the first 3 and see if you're not understanding why these things make so much sense together. Principle 1, God is absolute good everywhere present. Principle 2, human beings have a spark of divinity within them. Their very essence is of God, and therefore they are inherently good. And the third one is human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking. Everything that is in the manifestation realm has a beginning in thought. Well, there it is. Because for those of you that have listened or experienced or are trainers for Infinite Possibilities, Mike Dooley's #1 tagline is thoughts become things, choose good ones. Sounds like a pretty good idea, doesn't it? And we at Unity have so many of those practices to get us to the other side of that discussion. Well, not only do I love why it became so clear to me, and for those of you that find yourself, well, saying maybe a little less positive things to yourself. There's somebody here online that is one of my all-time favorite to kibitz and text with. And sometimes I have to ask this individual if they would talk to me the way they're talking to themselves. And in that moment, that individual is absolutely horrified because no, they love me. They adore me. They would never say such a thing to me. Then why are we saying it to ourselves? This idea that thoughts become things, choose good ones, I'm going to argue, find a way to say great ones, come hand in hand with this idea that we can affirm it, we can claim it, we can roll in it, we can celebrate it, and we can see it in someone else. Well, let's talk about the ways to get there, shall we? There was an interesting research project that was about students taking math. Now, in total confession, I hate everything math, so I was really annoyed. This was the best example I found out about. But, you know, there it is. So they took 2 groups of students, and the instructions were almost identical. The first group, we asked to simply take a math test, complete every question, be careful to write your answers, and there would be a timer, and they would get a 5-minute warning. Group 2 was given words that we would call affirming. You will be very successful. You will have the right answers present themselves. You will see yourself completing this in the time frame. All these fabulous words. And they track the results of the 2 groups. Group 2, not that you could be completely surprised, was wildly successful. And by the way, just those words, based on following them along, continued to perform higher on all academic activities. Interesting information, isn't it? I want to tell you, they also went back about a year later, took the original group that had the basic information and introduced new positive words for them. So their resources and their research told them that at any time we can catch up, because group 1 ended up performing just as well as group 2 once they made that slight change. When we meditate, when we say our thoughts out loud, when we use affirmative prayer, where are we identifying those amazing words to move forward? I would like now to read something about positivity, which is really what we're talking about here. And then we're going to go into meditation. But as I read this, I would like everyone in the chat to post a question or a word that matters to them that is positive as you hear me reading it. And then during our meditation, I'm going to have Dave read some of those out loud into the meditative practice. All right. This came from the Daily Om, which is not the daily word, but that's a great Unity tool too. And it says a lot of the same things. Positive thinking dramatically increases your chances of success in any endeavor. Our thoughts are not simply ethereal pieces of information that enter our minds and then disappear. The words and the ideas that we think can shape our lives and drive us towards success and happiness. How you think and feel can have a profound effect on your ability to recognize opportunity and how well you perform and the outcome of the goals that you have set for yourself. When you are sure that you are worthy and that achievement is within your grasp, you start to relax and look for solutions rather than dwelling on the problems. You're so much more likely to imagine a positive situation or an outcome. And frankly, you just disregard the thoughts related to giving up, failure, or roadblocks. Remember our GPS. You're going to continue forward no matter what happens. I'm heck bent to show up at Allie's home. So it is within your power to become as happy, content, or successful as you make up your mind to be. Staying positive may not have an immediate effect on your situation, but is likely to have a profound and instantaneous effect on your mood and the quality of your experiences. In order for positive thinking to change your life, it must become your predominant mindset. Once you are committed to embracing positive thinking, you'll start believing that everything is possible. So if you'll close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in and breathe out any fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Now, please breathe in again and bring the joyous light of technology that we can all be connected. All the most amazing words that really just explode through your heart and soul and make you so aware that you are thrilled to be alive. And as I continue to talk, I'm going to ask if Dave sees any words in the chat that we're going to add. I want you to see yourself able to find a positive thought on one of those days that you wonder. I see each and every one of us so filled with gratitude that we got up this morning and we had heaters and we were so able to show up here and come together, regardless of the circumstances. I see all of us filled with joyous knowing that the universe will provide. Dave, what other words have we got here?
Got inspiration, acceptance, gratitude, the everything, joy, divinity, opportunity, love, loving prosperity, endurance, serendipity, creativity, worthy, choose, choice, and then choices, and motivation, confidence, sing through it, gratitude, open door to wonder and awe, kindness, believing that everything is possible, synergy, healing, compassion, gratitude, yes, most benevolent outcome, grace, receiving, and trust me.
Let those words flow through you, around you. If there is a word that you hadn't thought of, grab it and make it your own. Because what we know beyond a shadow of a doubt is each and every one of you are the most divine, perfect image that the universe ever intended you to be. And I want you to breathe in and fill every chakra of your body with the light of love and knowing that you are so deserving. And so it is. And when you're ready, please return by opening your eyes so I know you're back. Oh, doesn't that feel amazing? That is the infinite possibilities we're talking about. It is those words that we can use to have our thoughts become things and choose great ones. Now, I want to go back to the very beginning and mention that little prayer that I put out there, prayer number 2, mind you. So if you remember, prayer number 1 was a bunch of clients for my personal company as soon as possible. I didn't put that in there, but that really was what I was thinking. I want you to know that when I opened up the prayer and I affirmed it and I let it happen however it was going to. How many of you, I'm guilty of it, I want it here, I want it now, and I want it my way. I think that's a very common way we see our prayers. And the thing is that the universe knows nothing about time. And by the way, it may want something so much bigger than what we wanted to claim in the first place. So I told y'all the prayer was abundance. I also said making a difference and loving what I do. Well, the first opportunity came for far less money than I would make with my corporate clients. But do you know what it gave me? An opportunity to work alongside some of the coolest people I've ever met, to be learning and growing. And by the way, I get emails from those clients all the time that I made a difference, which I think was in that prayer in the first place. The second thing that I never saw coming was to join Mike Dooley's Infinite Possibility training team. I have to tell you, I have never felt so loved however I show up in my entire life. And you would hear a lot when we're practicing to put on a new event, all is well. And I have to tell you, I started adding that to my vocabulary for every single day when I was panicking or worrying, or back to, okay, prayer, I've got a timeline. What's going on here? The next thing that would happen, and remember, abundance can mean a lot of things. I have an abundance of new friends. I have abundance of new things I was learning. I have abundance of new clients that don't look anything like the clients I thought, along with working beside people that I get to fall in love every day because they have something amazing to share or do with me. The financial first piece of that prayer, frankly, didn't even come in until June, half a year later. And by the time I ended the year, my abundance model gave me things I never had on my roadmap. So I invite all of us to think again and again about allowing the universe, divine spirit, Gus, to provide for something bigger than we ever imagined. Now, I even, and you can claim it, I am open to receiving it. I am open to every part of the journey you want to give to me. We can add with grace, with flow, with gentleness. Now, hanging out with my Infinite Possibilities community, I also started, and Allie Crane too, who is both community and unity. There's another line at the end of the prayer that I never had used in my entire life. Ready for it? It's easy. Or better. Or better. Can you imagine asking the universe for whatever we think we want or need, and then adding or better, and then standing back and being amazed and surprised? Well, I think it's pretty clear why Infinite Possibilities is the term for Mike's program, because it's really what we're saying to the universe. I am open to infinite possibilities to get to my highest self, to my best self, to make a difference. And I will let you lead, and I will claim it to be so. And so it is. I decided to add a tagline at the end of this discussion. Let's see if you like it. My new tagline, between all of our unity principles and the time I spend with infinite possibility trainers, trainees, community itself, is now, your words are the things that allow your thoughts to grow wings. Thank you for joining me today.